Good morning, good morning, good morning. So the video that you see on your screen is of two officers from Montego Bay, Barnett Street to be specific, that were at some sorts of inquest or inquiry. They call it the coroner's inquiry for the cause of the DEATH of controversial clergyman Mr. Smith and also Mr. Irons, Constable Irons. Now that is a thing that is buzzing all over social media, and these persons are saying these are some very shocking discovery of exactly what transpired on that fateful day. So pretty much Mr. Smith was being transported from the Barnett Street to the MID, Barnett Street in Montego Bay, going towards the MID, Major Investigative Division in Kingston. There was one marked vehicle in front, and then there was a blue Toyota Corolla with four persons, meaning three officers, two at the front, one at the back, and then Mr. Smith in there. There's a couple of things that were said that raised a whole bunch of red flags, that it seems as if these po were actually caught slipping. And yes, condolences to the loved ones and family members of that man that lost his life. However, this could have easily been avoided. And I am going to lay out from A to Z exactly where the red flags were and what could have easily been done. Based on the information, it is said that Mr. Smith told one of the officers before they left that place to their destination in Kingston, when he saw him sipping on some sorts of tea, that listen, this is going to be the last tea that you're going to be sipping on. Pretty much you're going to be DEAD soon. Don't know if this was some sorts of prophecy or this man was just knew that he was crazy, knew that he was lonely. It was proven in the fact that he was a master manipulator, the fact that he had so many persons lost their life, so many persons believed that he was some sort of prophet, man sent from the man up above, while he was all this time being a con artist, a thief, a demon, the devil himself. So he told the officer that that was his last tea. Yes, it seems like some sorts of prophecy, because Mr. Irons, Constable Irons, lost his life. While they were driving, now people, I am going to show you what one of the major problem is. They were going from Montego Bay. You know, so when you reach Miami Bay right there, so you have the entrance for the toll. The entrance for the toll would have been easier. However, there was a major glitch. Well, not major, simple, but because there's no source of coordination between the government, meaning the JSF, and also the operators of the toll, the people from the infrastructure place. So therefore, at that time, the po would have had to pay for the toll, to use the toll on their way to Kingston, and then pay for come back. Between the three officers, the person that is running that station, the persons at MID in Kingston, nobody could have made any sorts of contact, given them any sorts of authorization. Since then, people that drive emergency vehicle, that policy has been changed, it has been amended. So in other words, again, Jamaica are reactive instead of proactive. People have to get injured, people have to DEAD before something is changed. So therefore, they had to drive past that toll, which would have taken them probably about 45 minutes, the way that they were driving with some sorts of person in the front, in the marked vehicle and the blue vehicle. That took it taken them maybe about 45 minutes to an hour for reaching Kingston. They had to take all the way going in towards Ochoria Central, and then take the Fern Gully. Take the Fern Gully through all those hills, Mount Rassa, all the valley, everything, all sorts of bad road, bad traffic, and then when them buck up close to inner Bagwa, that area there. As a matter of fact, Mr. Smith told them on several occasions, that vehicle, that blue Toyota, it is not going to make it to Kingston. As a matter of fact, I am not going to make it to Kingston. It is said during the inquiry, during the testimony of these two persons, Mr. Gardner and I think the next one, Constable Harrison, they said that Mr. Smith told them, you know, no, sir, me nah make it go Kingston either. Me, I go DEAD. Don't know if they thought it was a joke. However, that again was some sorts of red flag. As a matter of fact, it is said that the driver of the vehicle, I think his name is Constable Harrison, when he heard that, he looked through the rear view mirror and make sure that this man had on his shackles, meaning pan him hand and pan him foot, because he must said to himself, that sounds some sort of way. But again, they did not take him very seriously. So therefore, him tell the man, say, the tea where him a drink are the last one. Him tell the man them, say, listen, the vehicle where I drive, that vehicle is not going to make it into Kingston. Him tell the man, say, me nah make it in Kingston. He told the people in the vehicle that, listen, me come from St. Catherine and this is where I am going to DIE. As a matter of fact, it is even said that he requested to get some sorts of spring water, Catherine's Peak spring water to be specific. Now people, me not really know where Catherine's Peak is made. However, in my opinion, I think Catherine Peaks come from up at the top of Blue Mountain there. So if I am not wrong, maybe I am Catherine, St. Catherine. Maybe that is a connection. I doubt it, but maybe I could be wrong. He also requested that him take a pee, and if he was not going to get a pee, he was going to pretty much PISS in the vehicle. People, he was given all of his requests. Don't know if they stop and make him take a pee, because obviously everything that this man said, with the exception of what he used to tell his congregation, has come to pass or came to pass. However, again, them take it for a joke. Now what makes it even more serious, it is said that this man, while they were driving in the bogwalk in that vicinity, in the side, say, well, the time is now, the time is perfect. This is the time to make sure say everything CRASH and BURN. Everybody are DEAD, including myself. He decided when he reached St. Catherine, where he said he's from, him gonna make sure say everything turn over, everything flip over. So him start all upon the driver of the vehicle. Now people, first thing first, you are transporting a criminal. You are transporting a man that have the same sorts of characteristics of a Chucky, meaning mentally deranged, meaning big and strong and strapped in, don't have anything for lose. This man has already told you or showed you that he is a ticking TIMEBOMB. He is in a mental state. You can't get no more murderer than that. Anything murderer than that, then at the last part of Bellevue, in the abyss of Bellevue. So I'm grab on the driver, and then the other two, the one at the back and the next one, I try to restrain him. All this time he did not let go until the vehicle lost control. Mr. Harrison, in his inquest or inquiry for the coroner, said that that was when he lost control, that was when he lost focus, and then the vehicle lick or turn over or flip or whatever it did. And then after the SMOKE cleared, his fellow constable, Mr. Irons, lost his life. Mr. Smith also lost his life. The other two were injured. As to the severity of their injuries, obviously, they did not DIE. That would have made it a very interesting thing if them DEAD and then is given testimony. Now, people, I want you to listen what an expert in the field of the JCF has to say, some sorts of security expert. And people, sometimes when I listen to these security experts, I am wondering if these people actually went to school, because what they are saying makes some sorts of sense. However, they are not the sharpest tool in the security field shed. So people, listen what this man has to say, and then I'll give my piece.
certainly it starts with the selection of the mode of transportation, and I would recommend then going forward that you have a more ideal vehicle, which would give you a little more space between where the prisoner is seated and who is operating the vehicle, and to ensure that the person who is escorting, physically escorting them, are, so minded to protect themselves and their colleagues around them. Seatbelt and the handcuff, that it could have been so engineered where he was restricted in his seat. And if it is that it had the handle grip, then that also could have been utilized. There are different ways it could have been done. If it is that he had the handcuffs in front, also another way that they could have done it is to perhaps use the headrest and loop it through there. There are different ways that could have been considered. But I guess experience and training, kind of brings wisdom to different scenarios.
Now, people, you hear what this man has to say. He said that the vehicle was not appropriate, and he is 100% correct. A little Toyota Corolla, one of the little flimsy one them with some sort of hubcap. Meaning it is a small car, meaning even though 4 people in there, 3 officers and 1 person of interest suspect, KILLER. This man had on shackles, however his hand was in front of him. So therefore he could have easily put his arm around the neck of the driver and pretty much CHOKED him, making him or causing him to lose control. However, the grip that he had on the man's shoulder did enough to make him lose control. So therefore, even though the other 2 tried to restrain him, it was not good enough him have mad people strength, and people, say mad people strength coming like orangutan strength. It's stronger than 7 human beings. So people, first thing first, the people in a close proximity. First thing first, the vehicle too small. That vehicle is not made for the purpose in which it was used, in which Mr. Smith and then Mr. Irons lost their life. So therefore, wrong bang from the start. If you see how they transport people, and people I hate to compare. However, the fact is that if you live in a first world country and you live in a third world country, especially when the third world country is worse than the first world country, you need to implement proper stuff into play for the security of transporting the prisoner, and even worse, the PO officer. Do everything that you can to avoid these people losing their life or getting hurt in or on the journey from court or from one PO station to the next. If you notice, when them a transport prisoner, them they know where them call the patty pan, or even when the PO hold you and put you in a vehicle, squad car them call it. If you're looking at the back, they are ever been privy to be traveling one of those fine places, then you know it come like a prison cell itself. Behind the seats of the driver and the passenger in that trooper vehicle, there is reinforcement, meaning bulletproof vests, bulletproof glass. There's also a metal thing that if you feel like you can kick or punch or whatever and obstruct the driver, it is not going to work. You are only going to hurt yourself. There's all sorts of reinforcement bars in a lot of these PO cars, so not all of them, but some of them. And then when you go in as a prisoner, it can only be open from outside. So therefore, if you feel as if you can pull the door and chuck out and get the people and to get any sorts of money through any sorts of lawsuit when you lose your life, it is not going to happen. Try and try again. The next thing is that you're not going to be carried and shackled to your foot. Yes, you can only shackle your foot them one way. However, when you're shackling person's hands, you can put it behind you. When it is placed behind you, unless you have some sorts of double joint or whatever, me say people do it before, but the average criminal, especially somebody that is obese, is not going to be able to do it. So therefore, whenever you put somebody in any sorts of shackles and handcuff and put it in front of them, you're only putting yourself and your officers in harm's way. There is no reason on that Master God earths with this man's characteristic, the fact that he was lonely, the fact that he is a master manipulator, the fact that he was a con man, the fact that he thought that he had nothing to lose, he would rather die than actually face his judgments. These people should have been more vigilant. These persons were actually caught slipping. These people, while I do not want to step on persons while they were down, however, had they done what they were supposed to do, taking precaution, read the signs, because not only did they get one, they got two, they got three, they got so many signs. He was giving them signs over and over again, and they did not capitalize on these signs. It caused their squaddy, and it caused that man. Well, that man is pretty much responsible for his own life. But people, me just say, there are things, there are signs, there are protocols that need to be followed. There are system failures here that showed you the reason why things happen the way that they happen, because the easiest way would have been for the government and the controllers of the toll, meaning the highway, to have some sorts of understanding that, listen, any sorts of emergency vehicle traveling and people, I am not saying that it couldn't have happened on the toll, but me just say, this man was given too many chances. This man was waiting for the opportune moment, and he knew that driving on that bagwalk bypass or whatever them call it, where there's so much meandering road, that would be the opportune time for him to pretty much grab onto the driver and make the vehicle flip, and so said, so done. No sorts of prophecy. Yes, he is a maniac. However, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew that he would have just waited on the opportune time. Now, the next thing that I saw that caused me a whole bunch of concern is that you have a marked vehicle leading the convoy. Well, it's not really a convoy, two vehicles. However, him ablaze and then the man ablaze. When this man tried to hold on upon the driver, why did not they stop? Why didn't they slow down, give this man two ras box in him face or a couple of elbow and beat him with the baton? Why they still keep driving fast? People, is there no sorts of coordination between the vehicle, the marked vehicle in front and the next vehicle, through some sorts of telephone communication or some sorts of CB radio? Are you telling me that these persons were driving, not looking behind, and the people that were driving ahead were not looking forward and see that these people were going ahead of them? Why, when the time came for them to slow down, them pretty much drive fast, even while this man is holding on to them? People, you know, sister, these people are not prepared. They are not professional. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.